Everyone.
It's morning again. It's morning again. It's morning again. Morning again.
Is it morning already? Wake yourself up.
Wake up.
I'm awake.
Morning's over.
I'm awake. Places, everyone.
Whoa, wait.
What?
Now I'm ready.
And we're back.
Oh my God, it's my favorite show. It's my favorite show ever.
Do you know what time it is?
It's showtime.
Hey, it is showtime. Welcome to the show, everybody. Thanks again. We are going to reset. We did not have all of our social media crew with us to start the show, but we did have you on radio. Thanks for joining us on this Thursday, July 8th. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust of Fox 2. All right, we are zipping through another week here. We'll take you till 10 o'clock. Coming up in just a few minutes, we're going to talk with the St. Louis Board of Aldermen President Louis Reed about some major issues going on in the city when it comes to safety, when it comes to how money is going to be spent. You won't want to miss that interview. And we've got all kinds of things to talk about today when it comes to the vaccine, what former President Trump is trying to do, what Fauci is now saying, Governor Mike Parson saying to the government, don't come to Missouri. You will not be welcome knocking on people's doors for the vaccine. Woo! It's all there. Pat Maroon wins another Stanley Cup. Cardinals lost last night, 2-3, and Vladimir Tarasenko, a St. Louis Blue, no more. He's going to be traded more than likely. So that's interesting as well. Lots of things to get into as we set the stage when it comes to vaccine, when it comes to the virus, and so forth. So there we are. Eric Johnson, how is your morning going?
So far, so good.
I saw you promote the fact that you guys are going to be at the Ameristar Casino this weekend.
Opening. This is the first weekend it's open.
And that was exactly where I was going with that. Ameristars, you're going to be back on stage. They haven't had anybody on stage in how long?
No, full capacity. Full capacity this Saturday night. It is reopening after 18 months, I believe, something like that. So it should be a good time. I don't think you're going to see a lot of masks. I don't think you're going to see a lot of people afraid of COVID. And we're just going to turn it up to 10. And we'll go to we're going to turn it up to 11 if we can. It's going to be that much fun. So get out, and I'm glad the Ameristar is back open. Now, they're only open on Saturday nights, apparently. Not Friday nights, not through the week. But they're going a little slower than the other clubs, but it's not going backwards. I'm sorry. COVID, they can do Delta. They can do the Zeta. They can do the Omega version of COVID. Nobody cares anymore, unless I'm wrong about that. I am kind of curious about this Greene County thing. 17 deaths all of a sudden.
Well, they said they came out
people.
yesterday. They came out yesterday and said, 121 in the hospital. I'm still waiting to hear about the, quote, 17 deaths in 2 weeks because I couldn't get any real answers about that yesterday. Let's continue to follow that, and I will, to see if they were truly COVID deaths or COVID igniting deaths. But that's what's going to be very, very, very interesting because you can't confirm that right now. They say, well, it was because of COVID, but we don't know that 100% for sure yet. And cases in the St. Louis area are not going up, and the deaths are not there, and you're not having overrun by a situation where you're overrun by hospitals. And Dr. Sam Page came out yesterday and said the war on COVID is not over. But then he's like, the key here is to get kids vaccinated. It's all about getting the kids vaccinated. He's like, well, the kids could come home and bring it to their parents or old people. Show me the data that shows how kids are transmitting it. We have zero data. I went and looked for it on the CDC's website. We have zero data showing that kids are transmitting it to adults. Right. Zero.
Right.
Zero. Please, zero. If I'm wrong, please call me up and tell me. Because I promise you, you're not going to have any data because I've already looked for it up and down and all around. It's not there.
What sucked about Fauci.
And I could win the lottery today.
Well, do it. Go play something. But here, Fauci gets on that one of his MSNBC hack television stations, whatever, it's CNN, whoever, and he sits there like a little puppet. And he says to the camera, this is a political thing. No, it's not. It
shouldn't be. It is political, but it should not be political.
The human spirit wants to research anything they put in their body. I said on this show, I might be at a CVS one day, and if you convince me, medical community, that getting this thing is safe, it's effective, and I don't have to worry about it anymore, I'll do it.
Agreed.
And guess what happened? I had many doctors, including my own medical MD, say, if you had COVID, maybe that's not a great idea. That was number one. Number two, Dr. Naputi comes in here and makes way more sense than anybody I've ever known. And I'm not a doctor. I'm not anything. And you're doing your research. It had nothing to do with politics. I didn't care that I voted for Ronald Reagan back in 1984.
It's not about politics. Everyone, I don't care what side of the political spectrum you're on, you should always educate yourself on your health and what you put into your body. I don't care if it's an aspirin, a vaccine, alcohol, whatever. Anything you ingest or put into your body or put on your body, you should research. I mean, to me, that's just common sense.
You have to research. That's right.
You have to research.
But the fact
that's not politics.
But the fact that a physician, a medical doctor, a virologist looks in the camera and goes, "This is political if you don't get it."
Of
no,
course they think it's political. They think, yeah, because if you're conservative, you don't want the vaccine, and that's not the case.
It's a bitch slap. It's a bitch slap.
If I didn't already have COVID and they told me that, yes, if you get this vaccine, it will absolutely prevent COVID infection, you will absolutely not have severe symptoms, I would have taken the vaccine.
Look, Vic is super lucky that he works for a company that's not making him get that vaccine.
Well,
you guys are in close quarters.
They've encouraged it for all of us, but we're not telling anybody whether we've had the vaccine or not. People don't know if I've had it or not. We all say,
don't ask, don't tell.
It's one of those situations.
Wow.
That's why I always say whether we've had the vaccine in here or not, whether you've been forced to get it and want to get it or not, whether you think it's great and just haven't gotten to it, all those things. So that's where you are when it comes to the vaccine situation.
Yeah.
Every company is different in how they handle situations. Our big story that we were covering this morning, and you're going to see, there's a lot of issues when it comes to every community. You sometimes you hear about them, sometimes you don't. Right now, it's about how to spend the federal relief money, the first round at least, when it comes to St. Louis City. And I said this back when the mayoral election was going on. Louis Reed put his name out there. I know you were a huge fan of his Tabitha. Eric, huge fan of Louis. Chris, huge fan of Louis as well. But he still was president of the Board of Aldermen. And right now, there's a bill that's making its way through the Board of Aldermen that Mayor Tashar Jones and company, at least on her side, are not thrilled with. But we're going to find out what's going on with this whole situation because it's gotten contentious. So we talked to him himself. Louis Reed, the president of the Board of Aldermen for St. Louis City. Good morning. How you doing, my friend?
All right. How you all doing this morning?
Good. How much sleep did you get last night? Because I know you guys were working late.
Oh, man, not much. But, it's exciting because we're moving this bill. It's $153 million. That's going to bring direct relief to people all across the city and to help us to address some of the systemic disinvestment that has happened across our city, across its history. So it's a really exciting time. As usual, when you're engaged in these things, you have a bunch of people who want to just be detractors and try to sideline the whole thing, but they're not going to be successful.
How much money are we talking about again, Louis, right now? Is this the $80 million or is it the $172 million of federal money?
Well, right now, the board bill is $153 million.
Okay.
And it includes things like, creating a, broadband corridor so that we can bring free broadband and Wi-Fi access, especially to areas that have been underserved, to be able to help some of our youth who do not have internet access to be able to go online to do their homework and everything else. We also included funds in there for, tiny homes programs and redevelopment that can happen all across our city. We put funds in there for rental assistance, mortgage assistance, right? And utility assistance. So if people are behind on any of those things, they can apply for those funds and get some relief, right? And we also put money in there, Natural Bridge, West Florissant, North Grand, Dr. Martin Luther King. In North St. Louis, north of Del Mar, has been those business districts have been just decimated, right? So we put funds in place to encourage small entrepreneurships to begin to open up shops and to begin to establish new businesses within those corridors. This model can end up being a model that can be carried in other like areas across the country if we're successful here in just revitalizing those business districts. Everybody wins by that. And then the other piece, we put $5 million back in for police overtime. We have just a high number of murders across the city. And the only entity that can go out and take a murderer off the street and apprehend them is the police department. And we need our police department to be funded and be empowered to be able to do that.
Sweetheart, I just have to ask you, what do you feel about the mayor calling you honey?
Oh, my. If that would have happened, if I would have done that, I would have been canceled. I would have been canceled. They try to insult me at every meeting because I'm not going to go along with the funding the police department. I'm not going to go along with just things that'll help just the inner circle of friends. And I'm always going to, force some transparency. Like in the 30-member group that they put together, the person that they put in charge of oversight was just charged by the SEC for fraud like 2 years ago. So,
Well, Lewis, wait a second. Who do you
that's
say
the
is
problem
against
when
you?
We're working with federal funds. We cannot do that.
Yeah.
That puts our entire federal funding package in jeopardy, right? My office, we're going to do our homework and we're just going to do the right thing. If people like it, they do. But but we're not trying to play to a small crowd on social media or anything,
Good.
right?
And
Because ultimately, we have to have a city that we all want our families and comfortable with our
Amen.
families and friends growing up in.
By the way, we were trying to throw you off guard there. Tabitha was supposed to say honey.
She did.
No.
No, she did. She got it.
No,
she got
She
it.
came back around.
Actually, no, I was supposed to say sweetheart.
That's right.
Yeah, yeah,
Who
yeah.
said
yeah.
sweetheart?
Kristen.
Sweetheart.
Oh,
Yeah.
oh,
It's
well,
just
to-
condescending.
the mayor called him
She told
honey.
me I was done.
I had
Yeah.
to be careful that she did not call him sweetheart, but honey.
Well, we wanted to be different
We
than
wanted to be
Tashara.
different. We got to throw a little
You,
spin.
you
on it.
know you had to laugh about that, but you're right.
So-
if you would have done it,
and-
it would
and
have been
that happened
tragic.
during debate on this last week, correct? I just want to make sure our listeners fully understood.
Yes, it happened during debate, and it was intentional. And then she kind of basically told me to shut up after that.
Damn.
Lewis,
Damn.
did it catch
but
you
that-
off? Did it catch you off guard, honey?
No, I've been at this for a long time. People have called me worse, so
Yeah. It's,
I wasn't going to lose any sleep over that one, and I know it was intentional. It was an intentional slight, and I wasn't going to play into it because what we were talking about at the time was this issue of having funds in place for rental and mortgage assistance and all that stuff, right? And how the current budget was going to be affected and those things, right? And we had gotten to a point where they knew that they had to take the advice I had given almost a month earlier, because that was the solution. And it was irritating to them that they had to essentially implement what I had offered up as a solution a month earlier. And so it was just a tense moment because of that.
yeah.
Lewis, when you say they, who are you referring to? Because last night this bill passed out of committee, correct me if I'm wrong, 9-1 in favor of what you're trying to do, correct?
Oh yeah, absolutely. It was. This isn't at the Board of Aldermen. This is the Board of E&A, the mayor, the comptroller, and myself.
Okay.
Right? And matter of fact, the last couple of meetings, I told them, I'm okay with you browbeating me, but it's not going to affect us making sure that we check all the boxes and do the right thing, because we're dealing with federal funding on parts of the stuff we're working on now. And there are city processes that we have to follow by law when we work through the process of passing something into law. There's very specific guidelines that are in the city's charter that we must follow. And we've never violated those, and we're not going to begin doing it now.
I applaud you. Economic development is where you need to be. Handing checks out to families is just a no-go for me. It's just a waste of money.
So you're against the $500?
I am totally against that. It makes no sense because this money is, even though it's a big lump, can be passed through quickly. I like that you're putting economic development on the table. I love that you're putting the overtime back in the cops' hands. The fund the police thing in St. Louis has got to be a dead issue, correct, Louis?
I would hope it is, but to the people that are pushing it, it is not a dead issue. And here's the other thing that is important for people to remember. When she was saying $500, she wasn't giving that to every single resident in the city. There was only enough money in there to give to 3% of the population.
Wow. Yeah, I was getting to that. How do you differentiate?
And that was not going to transform our city, right? But if we take that same money, put it into job training skills, put it into outreach efforts to get people engaged, if they need to put a new resume, they need, mental health services or legal health services, or if they need mortgage or rental assistance, whatever. If we put those funds into a place that can help stabilize these families, everybody wins by that.
Yes.
Right? And then by the way, here's the other thing. We also put funds in place so if you need a sandwich, you need a loaf of bread, you need something to eat, there's places now that will be funded that you can go get that. Good. Right? So this fallacy that they're pushing out there that somehow we don't want to help poor people, and then they at the same time want to put homeless encampments in North St. Louis and say that that's a good thing. I'm telling you, as a person that
I've seen it, Louis. Don't do it. I saw it in Seattle, Washington. It's the worst thing that's ever happened to the most beautiful city in the country. Don't ever do that.
Man,
here in St. Louis.
Louis, you better be careful because there's people on our Facebook line that think you sound Republican.
It's not so bad over here, Louis. Come on.
Oh man.
We got.
I tell you what, but and here's the thing that they continue to overlook. When you talk to the aldermen in North St. Louis, are saying uniformly, no, we do not want homeless encampments in our ward, right? And if you look at their plan was to move the homeless encampment that's downtown and plop that up in North St. Louis. That helps nobody. That helps nobody. That doesn't help the neighborhood that you put it in. No. That doesn't help those families that now live in and around it. And it does not help the people that you are forcing into that encampment. Work to get them the services they need and put them on a path to permanent housing solutions, right? There's something going on in each of their lives, and all of them are a little bit different. And if we treat it in the right way, if it's mental health services, if it's helping them get on a new career, whatever, right? If they need to get more service from the Veterans Administration, whatever, right? We need to have a team that addresses all those cases on an individual basis and not say, well, since you're going to be homeless, let's just put you all together.
I know. Right.
And say that we fixed something and we're being great to you. No, you're not. That is immoral to do that to people.
And Louis, I agree completely about as far as the homeless situation. But in my opinion, I don't think we can reduce crime by throwing money and free things at people. And it seems like that's always the answer, unfortunately, in the city of St. Louis. And it's not going to help. As I'm sure you know, we stopped reporting crime statistics in the city of St. Louis in December. And at that time, the crime was up by 70%. How do we reduce crime without throwing free things at people?
You're exactly right. That's why Cure Violence is key, because Cure Violence treats it at its core. They work to to connect to the individuals that are in a life of crime or on the path of entering a life of crime. And they're trained to treat the various different things, right? And to counsel each one of the people that they take on as clientele, and work to transform them and the way they're operating,
Yes.
and the way they move in and around the world, right? And when they do that, you end up transforming that person and everybody else around them.
Yes.
Opposed to saying, well, we're just going to give you a check and everything's going to be okay. Think about it. How many stimulus checks were given out by the federal government this year, right? And it hasn't affected our crime.
No.
Our crime has still been on track and the same. It hasn't transformed our neighborhoods and our communities across the city. Those neighborhoods and communities are still the same. And they gave 100% of the people checks.
Yes.
I think
So we're
that,
talking 3% of the people actually.
man, that's
you know?
here's 3% of the people. Here's $500, and first of all, there's animosity built there. Where's my money? Where did I? So
Yeah.
it's stupid. And if it was up to me, there would be vocational schools as many Starbucks as there are. You could build vocational schools for kids to come in, for people to come in and say, what do you want to do? Well, I would like to do IT services. Well, great. We have an IT services program. What would you like to do? I'd like to be a plumber. Fantastic. We have a plumbing
There
school.
are, Eric, there's a lot of vocational schools out there, but
I want
but
more.
the right people are not registering
No.
for these classes is the problem.
Because I think the whole premise of give a man a fish, he eats for a day, teach a man to fish is where we should be
you're
looking
right,
at
but
right
who's going
now.
to be the mentors that get these kids? Kids are starting out in gangs at 10 years old. Who's going to be there to mentor these kids to get them to that point?
I don't have an answer for the gangs.
Well,
I really don't.
No, thank you for bringing that up. That's what Cure Violence does. Cure Violence.
I think we lost him for a second.
No.
Oh, that's a bummer. It happens sometimes
I
with
know. I
radio.
really wanted to hear what he said.
I know that was like
that's
the,
all right. That's all right.
the whole kit and caboodle was right there.
Lewis will give us a call back, and then we'll finish up with him on that because he's given us about 15 minutes already. Lewis, are you back with us now? You were getting okay.
He's not.
All right. I thought. All right. I saw.
You know
Chris
what?
reach
At
for-
least St. Louis is not Lori Lightfooting this thing and blaming other people. At least they're acknowledging it. They have this whole lump of money down there right now. They're at least addressing real issues. The economic issue, I thought that was good what he said. You know, it seems to me like Lewis is saying we are not defunding the police. We're not going to play to the 15 people on Twitter or Facebook or whatever.
Right.
And it sounds
And
like
he should be the mayor, quite honestly. He should be.
Listen, I agree. I mean, we'll see how Tashara does. I would love to see her work.
We already see how she's doing.
Well, you know, if there's people like Lewis in his way, in the way of the people that are trying to defund the cops, then I'm all for it, man. So hopefully we get him back pretty soon. Oh, he's back.
Hello,
Lewis. How are you doing, man? We lost you
doing
somewhere
well.
between here and Albuquerque. We're sorry about that.
And I can't. And we missed your answer, Lewis, as far as cure the violence and being mentors to these children.
Yeah, so thank you for taking my call again. So Cure Violence plays that role. Cure Violence, what you have are people that have been through a life of crime, turned their lives around, and are on the right track. Now they want to give back to the community. That's what the Cure Violence Interrupters, that's kind of profile of the Cure Violence Interrupters. So they have been in the gangs and gotten out and things of that nature. So when they go mentor these kids that are in gangs or going into that life of crime, they can tell them, look, I've been there, been to prison, I've done the time, and here's the difference, right? And here's how I want to work with you so that you can do better than what I've done, right? So that's why the program works, because they go into it with a level of credibility that you and I and others cannot go into it with, because we can't tell a kid what it's like to be in a gang and what that life of crime looks like, right? And what happens, when you go to prison, right? And what it takes to turn your life around. But these folks can, right? The folks that are interrupters. So, you're exactly right, because it's not enough to just put the programs in place. You have to have a connector to reach out to the folks and get them involved in it and convince them that this is a better way.
Yeah.
Lewis, I don't know how you feel about it, but I wanted to know if you thought there was any validity in Cori Bush's 4th of July text. When they say that the 4th of July is about American freedom, remember this: the freedom they're referring to is for white people. This land is stolen land, and black people still aren't free. What do you think about that?
I think, look, the congressman is entitled to her own opinion, but, the freedoms that we enjoy in America compared to other nations on this globe, we are blessed to have the freedoms that we have, because we have freedoms. We have freedom of speech. Look at the things that people are free to say on Twitter and Facebook, and the way they are free to engage with others, and marry who they want to marry, and live where they want to live, and attend the schools and send their kids to the schools and things that they want to send them to. Now, do we still have work to do as a nation? Absolutely, right? But the thing that the framers did, I think they did a good job of putting this piece together. We are a nation that continues to evolve and continue to get better, right? Because it's built to force compromise amongst the people that call themselves Americans. So, let's hope they don't have the 4th of July on the chopping block now.
Yeah, we'll see.
Wow. I didn't even think about that.
Scary.
Lewis, you gave us a lot of time this morning. We appreciate it. I know you got to go do your job and work, but before you go, one of our watchers on Facebook came up with a new name for you. Maybe you could get some shirts made or something.
Mr. Mayor?
No. That was good, Eric. No, he was referred to as Honey. So somebody said maybe you should be Sugar Bear now. Lewis, Sugar
Aw.
Bear
I
Reed.
would take it. I would.
That's so sweet.
I actually like that. I like that.
Lewis, we
You all,
appreciate-
Thank you so much for your time.
Hey, we wish you the
today,
best
and,
luck, man. We'll be continuing to follow.
And looking forward to talking to you all again. Bye-bye.
All right. And it's and I just looked down at the text line, and no sooner than we get off the phone from the Facebook line, Drew Collins says, "Now I can see why he wasn't elected mayor." Just to give
he's just trying to start trouble. I was going to answer that back, but I forgot that I am on Facebook jail, and I
you're on
apologize
Facebook
that
jail.
I cannot reply to any of
That's
the comments
hilarious.
today.
You're not on Facebook at all
Wait
right
a second.
now?
I can see it, but I can't
Can you?
comment.
That's
can you
gotta be
concisely-
brutal.
She can't do nothing.
Tabitha.
How did you get? Let our listeners know again.
Yeah,
What happened? What did you post?
I posted. Do you want me to read what I posted?
Yes, we
Did
do.
you threaten the president of the United
Oh,
States?
Of course not.
Did
I
you
would,
threaten Fauci?
I would never.
Sam
Mark
Page?
Zuckerberg,
I would never.
Chris Knight.
I would never do that. The only thing that I spoke about literally was how COVID is a coronavirus, as is the common cold.
Okay, so far so
How
good.
there are various strains of flu.
Yes.
How any of these illnesses can lead some people to very serious complications,
Yes.
including death, even the common cold.
I didn't know that.
And how that we have to build up our immune systems. That
Okay.
is the only thing
And
I said.
Zuckerberg got on the phone and said,
And
"Get
I
get
am
this
now
bitch
Facebook
out of here."
jailed. And here's something really odd.
You screwed up in your first sentence. You compared the common cold to the coronavirus.
But I didn't, though. I just said the coronavirus, the COVID is a coronavirus, as is the common cold.
I know.
And that's a fact.
It is a fact,
It is
but
a
we
medical
already know that
fact.
facts don't matter anymore.
And I've noticed on our comment line, and I don't know if any of you guys are watching it like I've been watching it, I keep seeing comments post and then disappear. So something is going on where some of our comments are disappearing.
Really?
Yes.
Chris, is that your fault? You deleting stuff?
It's creepy.
deleting it.
It's
Anything.
creepy, man.
So are you sure, Tabitha?
I'm
'Cause I
positive.
know you're always looking for
No,
a
I'm
conspiracy.
positive. I'm absolutely positive.
Everybody on Facebook right now. Everybody on Facebook right now to say hi at the same time.
Oh,
Do
dear
it.
God, Eric, we're going to lose all our
We're going to count them.
On the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
We're
gonna
go
go.
hi.
I'm guessing that there's someone behind the scenes reporting comments, and Facebook is on the line deleting them.
It's Mark Zuckerberg, man. He's drinking his coffee and watching us.
Oh, my God. That's funny. All right, we got to take a quick break. When we come back, we'll continue more of this. Plus, you'll hear President Trump or former President Trump yesterday talking just a funny soundbite. He had his press conference yesterday about how he is suing Google, Facebook, and Twitter for a variety of reasons, but also I think we got 30 attorneys generals across the country also in that suit. It's not just President Trump. It's going to be a big one for a variety of issues. We'll talk about that as well. And here come all the highs on Facebook. Way to go, Eric.
Yeah.
Way to go.
And our video interrupted for like a second.
All right, Eric.
Thanks, Eric.
Now you have to count all these highs.
Yeah. It's the fastest 2 hours of morning radio. The Edge, Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell on Big Faust to Fox 2. If you want to give us a call, you can as well. 636-695-2915. Or join us and share the show on Facebook, 100.7 The Viper.
The Edge Morning Show.
Hi, this is Eric Joya, sales manager at the all-new Travers Automotive and RV at I-70 and TR Hughes. I'm personally inviting you to come see our awesome selection of pre-owned cars, trucks, and SUVs. Travers Automotive and RV has the largest inventory of lifted trucks and Jeep Wranglers in the market. Our new location also has RVs from Mesa Ridge and Open Range, and a huge selection of pre-owned as well. Come see me and my team at Travers Automotive and RV, I-70 at TR Hughes, TraversAutoandRV.com.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
is pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive, bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's Babbel.com.
As a trauma-informed provider, Compass Health Network is equipped to assist you or a loved one struggling with trauma, anxiety, depression, substance use disorder, or other behavioral health conditions. Our providers understand that everyone's life experiences are different and will work with you in person or virtually to develop the most effective plan of care. You are not alone. Call Compass Health Network today at 844-853-8937 or visit compasshealthnetwork.org for more information.
The Troy Area Chamber of Commerce presents the 16th Annual Memories on Main Car Show in Troy, Saturday, August 7th, rain or shine. Main Street in Troy will come alive with great cars, music, food, and much more. Registration runs from 8 a.m. until noon and awards at 3 p.m. Dash Black for the first 200 registrations. For more information and registration, call 462-8769. That's 462-TROY. Visit TroyOnTheMove.com or like the Troy Chamber on Facebook. The 16th Annual Memories on Main Street Car Show in Troy, Saturday, August 7th. Be there.
An important message from Quiver River Electric Cooperative. During this unprecedented time in our world, we want to emphasize our commitment to continue delivering reliable power while keeping our members and employees safe. Our linemen are taking precautions to stay socially distanced. Other employees are working from home. Although we've adjusted our operations, we want you to know that we are still here and we will continue to keep the lights on. For more, visit quiver.com or call us at 1-800-392-3709. Quiver River Electric, a Touchtone Energy Cooperative.
Now another hour of The Edge Morning Show on KFNS Troy St. Charles. The Edge Morning Show.
The Great Gap sale started at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com. Shop styles up to 75% off, plus long weekend deals, including flip-flops from $3, tees and tanks from $6, dresses from $12, and more. Shop it all through July 5th at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com.
Community State Bank congratulates the senior class on reaching this milestone. They offer a wide variety of banking services to suit your needs. Stop in at Community State Bank or visit c-s-b.com. Member FDIC.
Viper Weather with legendary chief meteorologist Dave Murray.
Hi, this is Viper meteorologist Dave Murray. It is Thursday. We're looking at partly sunny skies. There's still a chance of a couple of pop-up thunderstorms, but I think the bulk of any activity, which is limited at best, is going to stay to our south. It's a couple of degrees cooler, 88 for the high. Tonight, partly cloudy skies, evening temperatures in the 80s, 70 will do it for the low. Friday, partly sunny. It's a steamer of an afternoon. It's hot and humid. A couple of spot thunderstorms trying to pop. 92 on Friday. Then it gets wet. A front hangs up over us. Scattered rain and thunderstorms, some heavy, some possibly severe. Friday night, Saturday night, and Sunday. It's a pattern we're going to get stuck in. We've seen it before, but it will be cooler, about 80 to 85 over the weekend. From the Viper Weather Center, I'm Chief Meteorologist Dave Murray. Now back to the Edge on 100.7, the Viper.
Whipper River Electric, a Touchstone Energy cooperative. The Edge Morning Show.
Local headlines now with Fox 2's Vic Faust.
Hey guys, welcome back to the show. Time for your morning headlines here. Well, Pat Maroon got another Stanley Cup. The former St. Louis Blue wins his third straight. And it doesn't matter if he didn't play a lot in last night's game or not. You know what? His presence around is clearly showing that he's some sort of cup catalyst because he's won 3 straight. Good for him. Congratulations. Maybe Tabitha will be able to get him on the show sometime.
I'm going to work on that. No question about it.
Maybe we need to have a bet on who can get him on first.
Oh, you know what? I will take that bet. Because I know if it comes down to
Tabitha,
that.
we've been waiting for a year.
Hey, I know where his skeletons are. I can get him on before you can.
I think because you know where his skeletons are, that's why he's not taking your call. So.
He takes my calls.
He's like, oh, crap. Got to stay away from her.
That's funny.
Vladimir Tarasenko, longtime Blue, has asked for a trade. More than likely, he won't be a St. Louis Blue anymore. The Cardinals last night lost. They weren't able to sweep the Giants. At least they won 2 or 3. But the bad news is they're still 2 games under 500 and 9 games out of first place, which is sad. And they're in 4th place in their own division. We'll talk about this when we get time later in the show today. But temporary tags in the state of Missouri are going to be going away. They're going to ease them out within the next 4 years. I never understood this in the state. Some of you people may like it. Some of you may not. I always thought it was silly. It's like, why can't I just pay for everything all at once? Why do I have to go to the DMV within 30 days later to pay my sales tax to get my license?
Yeah.
Or to my local assessor's office. Long story short, they're going away. Temp tags, you'll be able to pay for it all at once at the dealership. Take care of it. Temp tags
Is
going
the
away.
DMV going away?
No. Happy Alive Day to Officer Flamion. Like Flamion, it was 5 years ago when he was shot, leaving him paralyzed. It's good to see him out when we do get a chance to see that. The Missouri Department of Conservation wants your thoughts on catfishing practices in the state. I say that for you, Chris. That's a look at your morning headlines.
Thank you.
We'll get your opinions on catfishing. That's a look at your morning headlines.
The Edge Morning Show.
Yeah, I say that, Chris, because you and your son are the guys that go out and fish.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, I do not like catfish.
Nobody does.
I
I
can't
don't
say
either.
that I go catfishing.
Yeah.
I
I
go
love
fish for
fishing.
bass and crappie. Not so much cat.
I love
Not-
fishing
not
for
that kinda
catfish.
guy.
Stop
I just
it.
throw them
Wait.
back. I fished for catfish this past weekend.
What?
Did
All
you?
fish,
What?
actually.
What are you talking
I
about?
went fishing 3 days in a row.
For
Did you go
catfish?
noodling?
What?
Did you go noodling?
I did not go
Tabitha?
noodling.
Tabitha
no.
does strike me as a noodler.
She does.
She does.
I am not a noodler. I know what that is.
That's
and
that's
that
your
is not
style.
me.
That's kind of like your
No.
style. Down
Would you
in
stick
the-
your
no,
arm
no.
way up in there, Tabitha?
I would not. No. I am scared of anything that lives in the mud, so no, I would not do that.
I'm just going to change the
But I
subject.
love
Yeah, but
going
you're from
fishing.
Ironton.
I am not
Tabitha.
from Ironton. I'm from Chicago.
Oh, that's even worse.
But I did go fishing in Ironton. We
That
have
is
a little
awesome.
lake out there that's like a little 45-acre lake.
Welcome back to the Edge, everybody.
She just freaks me out every
I
day,
know.
man.
I know. It's because she makes it up as she
Plenty
goes.
of women like fishing, Eric.
Yes, they do, but
Plenty
that's
of
not
women
my
I didn't
point.
say anything about
like to
plenty.
go
It's
fishing.
you.
Yeah.
Me? What about me?
Never once in knowing you
I'm
and all the
going to
time that we've
I'm-
known you have you ever talked about going fishing.
I have. That's one of my favorite things to do.
What?
I
No,
like,
it's not. Drinking and doing shots
know.
is.
No.
I'm going to
Tabitha, do you
Napoli
put-
tonight.
Tabitha, do you put your own bait on your
Of
hook?
course I do.
So you
Of
put
course I
minnows on
do.
there, worms,
Anything that goes on there, yes.
chicken liver. If you
Yes.
go catfishing,
I don't believe her.
Absolutely.
I don't believe her. I think she's lying
No.
again.
I
You know,
do.
we've already got proof that she says things just to stir the pot.
Yeah, she does.
Never do I do that.
And
Ever.
says things that
She
sounds
does.
good.
You just like making me sound that way. But no, that's not true. Everything I see is absolutely factual.
All right. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, I'm Big Faust of Fox 2. Appreciate you joining the show this morning. You're listening to The Morning Edge. If you want to give us a call, you can. 636-695-2915 is the phone number to call in. Love it when you share the show as well. 100.7 The Viper on Facebook. And, of course, we appreciate your comments online. I'm sorry, this is a funny one from Sherry. She goes, well, Vic doesn't like Soundgarden, Catfish, or Joe P.
That is true, man. Come on.
That's awesome. I like Joe P. I'm just not a big fan of Soundgarden catfish.
Man, you got to come over to the house
The
this
first
weekend.
fish I ever caught was a catfish.
Sunday,
it was
I'm
just nasty.
Sunday. I'm going to grill up some good catfish, and we're going to listen to Soundgarden all
I don't
day
think
long.
anyone grills catfish.
Yes.
I've never heard of anyone grilling catfish.
Eric, I would be there, but I'm just going to be in Chicago with my son for a lacrosse tournament.
Don't
so
make
I'll
excuses.
Be coming, I'll be
Don't
coming
make excuses.
back.
Tell you what.
Maybe Chris can take the helicopter up. I'm having some car issues. Chris, can we borrow your chopper? Can you take me to Rockford, Illinois, and bring me back?
I don't know. According to Dave, it's going to storm.
Oh, that's right. It is supposed to storm.
weather.
That chopper's not going to be in the air anymore.
right.
Everybody's got an excuse. All right, I'll listen to Soundgarden for all you.
That's great.
Hey, I'll listen to Soundgarden.
I know you will.
Well, Tabitha, we're sorry that you've been censored, so to speak, canceled
I keep
from
wanting
Facebook.
I keep trying to like things, and I'm like, I can't like it.
But
Drive
you're not
me
alone.
crazy.
That's something you and former President Trump have in common.
Yes, we do.
And,
That among many things.
and millions of Americans and many things. What do you and Trump have in common?
Oh,
besides-
Trump and I have a lot in common. You know, I
Start rattling
I'm
them off.
gonna remind you
Really? Start-
that I was his campaign girl in 2000.
You're what?
His campaign girl
In 2000, for what was he campaigning for?
She said this before.
President.
She was one of 2
For
million.
president. I was one of two.
2 million
No, there were
campaign
only
girls.
there were only two of us. I was one of two.
You mean at that moment in that room?
Well, no, because he only had one presidential campaign, and it was very short lived. It was just me and one other girl. And what we did was we passed out buttons when he was on tour with Bill Clinton and Anthony Robbins.
Did you meet Trump?
Yes. Hmm.
Because didn't you say that he didn't have small hands? He had big hands.
He's a very large man. Not as big as Anthony Robbins, but he is a large man. He did not have the tiny hands that he's been accused of having.
I'm just going to stay away from
But
that.
you know
one.
what, though? But when I met Anthony Robbins, I actually commented on
Please
his
say that you
hands
got that on tape.
because he is
We
an
have it.
enormous
Please say
guy.
it. All right.
We have it. I'm just going to stay away.
That's a good idea.
There's no talking
He's a
about
very large
riding the Trump little dingy boat. I get it.
And
All
he
right.
doesn't drink. We were all having little cocktails, and he did not.
She
Well,
said
he
little
may not have-
cocktails. Anyway, back to Cole.
They look little in their giant hands.
This is our degenerate, immature
It's
part of the
okay.
show.
It's what is today? Thursday.
Thursday.
All right, fine.
Almost Friday.
Ooh, that's funny. Well, President Trump, making news yesterday, had a press conference. I just found it funny. I'm glad a friend of mine sent this to me. At the end of this quote, or his press conference with President Trump, just listen to how he talks about the three men who he is suing. But here's President Trump yesterday speaking about what he's going to do with this lawsuit, and we'll talk about where that lawsuit is today.
Announce a very important and very beautiful, I think, development for our freedom and our freedom of speech, and that goes to all Americans. Today, in conjunction with the America First Policy Institute, I'm filing as the lead class representative a major class action lawsuit against the big tech giants, including Facebook, Google, and Twitter, as well as their CEOs, Mark Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai, and Jack Dorsey. Three real nice guys.
Real nice guy.
We're asking the U.S. District Court for the Southern District of Florida to order an immediate halt to social media companies' illegal, shameful censorship of the American people, and that's exactly what they are doing.
Did he say
We're
real nice
demanding-
guys?
Yeah, I love it how he
Dorsey.
says that. You should go
Three
back to about
real nice guys.
Yeah.
You did it again.
Chris, go back to like
We're
38
asking,
seconds.
as well as their CEOs, Mark Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai, and Jack Dorsey. Three real nice guys.
Whether you like Trump or not, that's the Trump that we don't have anymore from a national
That's the
perspective.
Trump I miss.
They're real nice guys.
What do you
They're
say?
real nice
Poon,
guys.
poon, cha-cha.
He should have said three
Jack-
sweethearts.
Dorsey.
Yeah.
Including Facebook, Google, and Twitter, as well as their CEOs, Mark Zuckerberg, Sundar Pichai, and Jack Dorsey. Three real nice guys.
You know what? Why hasn't the Congress taken up yet the fact that this isn't a monopoly? Why hasn't the Congress said, holy, and
now that I agree with you, because that's what they need to do. They need to break them up.
On top of that, they colluded. If you
They
think
did collude.
they colluded,
but
that is the worst part
They
of the whole
absolutely did
thing.
collude.
But
if you think about it,
even though and here's where it is now. I think I heard 30 U.S. Attorney General states, 30 red states, are joining this lawsuit.
Yeah.
But do I think it's going to go anywhere?
Of
Did anybody
course
have-
it will.
I'm not
It
sure.
won't.
Sure.
I don't think
I
it
don't
will.
think it
I
is.
don't
Are you
think it
kidding
will.
me?
No, and you know
Not
what?
with what he stated.
Wait,
If he would have stated it differently,
This is
possibly.
not Prodigy. This is not AOL. These are the biggest tech
But Eric,
companies.
he's not going after them for the right reasons. He's not going after them because they're a monopoly. If he would have went after them
He
and said
can't
these
do that.
companies
He's not.
need to be
He's
broken
not Congress.
up.
He's not Congress.
I know, but these companies need to be broken up. That's what needs to happen. We can't repeal Section 230. They're
Yeah.
not going to do that.
Well, it doesn't have just to do about that.
No, it's
actually,
not only that.
Actually, no. I think they're in trouble. I think they're going to have to make some changes. I was watching this
I would
morning,
like that.
and the CDC has a lot to do with this lawsuit. So a lot of people don't even know about this because they're coming out with more information today. The CDC is using social media platforms for political reasons, and it's illegal. You can't do that.
No, that's what they do in China, in
That's what they
communist
do
China.
in China. And that's going to be the lawsuit. So everybody's saying the First Amendment right. Well, he's thrown that in there, but there's government entities that are using social media platforms for government work, and that's illegal. You cannot do
I hope
that.
you're right, Chris.
Well,
I really, really
and
hope
only
you're
because
right.
it was different from the view that we had here. Once again, Drew Collins chiming in. So
Wow,
that
who cares about that
lawsuit isn't going anywhere. You can't sue a private company. But this is what Tabitha's saying. You can't sue a private company over the First Amendment.
Here's the deal.
Any lawyer-
Here's the deal. Here's the deal. They're coming for you. They're coming for you. Joey Behar, if they're coming for you, if you say something that the corporate interests don't like, they're coming for your ass. Everybody, Democrat, Republican, Independent, I don't care what you, Marxist, you better care that the people who control speech. Tabitha Hassell is a fantastic example this morning, ladies and gentlemen. She is banned from Facebook for 3 days. Not only that,
for
but
speaking factual
but
information. on
not
top
only
of
that, but the thing she put up was so benign. It was unbelievable. But Tabitha Hassell cannot comment to you. If you have anything to say to the folks, let me know. I'll say it for you. But it is unbelievable that not everybody, that Nancy Pelosi and Chuck Schumer are going, antitrust, guys, antitrust. They block everybody out. Amazon's another example. They block out small businesses all the time.
I'm just telling you, this
Absolutely.
isn't going anywhere. I know I disagree with Chris. I just don't think it's going to go anywhere.
I think it is.
I
think
hope you're
backlash.
wrong,
no.
but I agree because you know what the problem is, Eric, is the people, the powers that be that make all the decisions are the people who are against us and want to suppress us. Those people are in favor of what Amazon and Google and
I'm
Facebook
starting to
and
learn.
Twitter are
I'm
doing.
starting to learn.
No, they're not listening.
I'm
but they
starting to
should be.
learn that the small percentage of people that are like the troublemakers out there, they're going to get their ass kicked pretty
By
soon
who?
here.
By who?
By the rest of the society.
And
yes.
this is your lash.
Yes.
Your backlash again.
Look. Here's Yes. The backlash.
We can't
Thank
even
you.
get you to go to a school board meeting or a Missouri Warrior meeting. So who's going to be the people doing the backlash? Everyone wants to talk, a big talk, but they don't want to get out and do anything.
I don't have kids in school. So it's talking about CRT right now. I have no fight in the battle right this minute
But you're
because
good,
I don't have
your
any
fight
kids.
is for all of the other people that do have kids and for your children that are going to have kids. You still
Actually,
everyone
no.
still has to
No.
fight.
Hold on. I don't look at myself as anything other than a guy that comes in here. I look at it like this. Let me don't say anything because it'll wreck my ADD. I look at politics right now as a sport. I look at politics now. It didn't used to be a contact sport. Now it's a contact sport. I look at myself, Vic, and Chris coming in here and doing Monday morning quarterbacking on everything that happened the day before. Going, oh my God, did you see what happened on the field yesterday? That's all I look at it as. And when somebody
we do more than that, though.
I know. But when it comes on and we see the story about CRT and how the head of the union's like, I dare you to bring a lawsuit against me, going, excuse me? You work for us. You're working for us. That's when I start to say, well, let's talk about that, shall we?
And that's
it's not
good,
that
and
I'm not
and
going to
you're
go
doing
to a
your part.
school board meeting.
You're doing an important part, but think about this, Eric. Think about if everyone who feels the way you do, who said, I don't have
It's up to the
I
moms.
don't have a kid at the school.
It's up to the moms.
What if everyone that said the same thing that you do, that I'm not going to physically get out there and do anything? What if all those people actually physically did get out
Because
there?
let me answer your question. Let me answer your question.
You
Can I answer your question?
them.
Can I answer your question? let me put it this way. My kid, if I had two kids, and let's say one was in 3rd grade and one was in 8th grade, and they were in the Francis Howell School District, and I found out, what did you just say to me? We're oppressors, Mom. Where did you learn that? Boom. I'd be on a beeline to the school, whatever it took.
But
You're
what
not
about
teaching
the
my kid
future?
this.
I mean, even though it's not your kid, what about the future and what about all the other kids?
It's also up to the people in the cities that are getting shot for those communities to step up and become.
Everyone needs to step
Right.
up. Whether you have a kid in school or not, everyone needs
and
to
again,
step up.
we're looking at all these stories from the media deck in a stadium. That's how we are. We are going, oh my God.
Sometimes yes, but sometimes we're right in the middle of it.
I know. But I'm just saying we're the color and play-by-play of what's going on in St.
Well, there's
Louis.
a couple things going on with what you were just talking about in Tabitha. First of all, when it comes to the president's lawsuit, it's a class action, but Trump's the lead plaintiff with the U.S. Attorney General's involved. But just so we're all clear, Trump is claiming that he's been censored by the companies.
Yes.
And that was his deal. So he's been censored. And the reason that the companies borrowed him, YouTube, Facebook, Google, was the fact that he was making false comments saying that the election was stolen from him when when nothing went to court to actually prove it. So that's why the companies can say that he's lying and spreading false information, whether people agree with it or not. That's kind of where that situation is. But then it took another interesting twist yesterday, too, because I'm not sure if you saw this because it has nothing to do with the United States. But then you also have Facebook, Twitter, and Google now reportedly threatened to end all of their service in Hong Kong over proposed data protection laws. And this is what was interesting. It's been reported that they all sent a letter to Hong Kong saying that the companies are concerned about what they're trying to do with new rules that could stop them or make them liable for doxing. I had no idea what doxing was. Have you guys ever heard the term doxing?
Yeah, it means that they
Tabitha
let
did.
all the personal information goes out about
Absolutely. A practice that was reportedly common during the 2019 protest in Hong Kong, referring to the online sharing of individuals' personal information with the hopes that others will use it with malicious intent. So Hong Kong says, wait a second, we're going to stop this from you companies. Now the companies go, oh, really? If you're going to stop doxing, we're going to stop service in your country. Blew my freaking mind. To me, that's one of the biggest stories that's out there that you're not going to hear about unless you're going out and doing information for yourself.
It's always a pissing match between countries. Well, if you don't do this, we're not going to do that.
Well, no, this is, yeah.
Well, if you do this,
but
we're going to do this.
this is between Hong Kong and Facebook, Twitter, and Google.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of the Donald Trump stuff, I have his attorney. I'm hoping that we can get him on tomorrow, John Cole. He's representing the case.
Okay, that'd be awesome.
So we'll talk to him and get some more information about that because I think there's more out there than what I know or what you know.
Well, that would be nice.
Yep.
This is a big story. It is a big story,
because
man.
not only this isn't just about
This is
Trump.
freedom of speech,
This is
man.
about everybody in the world.
Yeah.
Specifically the United States.
Yeah.
Now, the second part of that, Eric, you brought up the critical race theory aspect of what's going on. I'm not sure if you saw this, but an Ohio school district went after kids of moms who went after the school board for trying to force critical race theory teaching. Not sure if you saw this, but, quote, Andrea Gross, a parent whose children came out and said that the Ohio school district pushed back on her family. They didn't come after her and another mom. They went after the kids.
I saw that.
They
I saw that.
expelled
Yeah.
the kids from school because moms went after the school board in public meetings about critical race theory.
That is so wrong.
But do you want your kid going there anyway?
Isn't that a class action lawsuit somehow?
No.
some
I think
way?
it should be.
Well, I don't know what the dynamics of this school are. Again, we talk about, private school versus public school. The thing about it is this.
But they were expelled from a private school.
Why?
It wasn't a public school.
Bye. Don't forget to
They
write.
shouldn't be expelled at all. It has nothing. The parents' feelings have nothing to do with the children. The children shouldn't even know this is going on.
Don't you feel like
it's Columbus Academy? They're denying re-enrollment to several students, saying that their mothers breached part of the contract by leading a public campaign against the school's purported attempt to, quote, indoctrinate students with left-wing ideas.
To me, I feel like this. If you've been going to Starbucks for like the last 20 years, which I have, love Starbucks, and all of a sudden one day you go to Starbucks and all they don't serve lattes anymore. They only serve asparagus. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do everything in my power not to ever go back to Starbucks and find another place that serves amazing lattes. That's what I feel like the school districts are doing right now. For every day for the last 100 years, our schools have taught 1 + 1 is 2. 1776 is when the country was founded. It's a legitimate history date. It's archaeologically historic. I mean, what else? World War II. You learned the pertinent information to make you a successful person in the secondary part of your educational life. Stop. Now, what is the remedy for the parents right now to go to these school board meetings where they turn a blind ear to them and then they walk off the stage and go, screw you. If you come after us, we're going to sue your asses. Fine. It's time for the public school system to either stand up for being the advocate for these parents or for us to have the ability to get a voucher and go to private schools. That's it. That's the only remedy I see here.
And I mean, I don't know what the remedy is. You know, what the problem is that it goes back to elections, people electing the wrong people.
Is that called backlash? Is that called backlash?
I don't.
Is it
well,
called
you have to
backlash?
have the people who stand up and who fight for positions on school boards.
Is that called backlash?
And the problem really is the union. The school unions are the issue.
Who in the hell since I've been alive, gave a damn about a school board election since now?
Well,
till
you know
now.
what? And that's exactly the problem. That's
Seriously.
exactly the problem. Because guess who does care? The progressive liberals who have been
Yes.
electing people to the school boards. And guess what? Now they control the curriculum that your children are being taught.
Vic, have you ever cared about going to a school board meeting, a PTA meeting or whatever?
Yeah, there was one issue that we had. But
What was it?
But it was
No shoulder pads on the football team?
No. But it was different because I've always had my kids in Catholic school, so it was a little different.
It was a little
than
different.
Yeah.
I'd say. But you're right. Your path is well planned, I would say.
It has
I hate
been
to say that.
up until
hate to say that.
Up until recently, because now you have some issues happening, even in private schools.
Really?
Yes, absolutely. Some major issues, and it's not just in public; it's in private.
Is
as well.
it? Can you make it public? What are those issues? Is it? Is it curriculum?
What I'll get
issues?
into is this, because there are people involved at the schools that I respect and like, and
sure, that's
but
fine.
there was a video that was shown to kids, and in the first couple sentences of the video, it's basically going after another group of people, and it was not unbiased in any stretch of the imagination.
So how?
So it riled up a lot of parents. It's like, wait a second, well, you can't just you can't tell kids this and say, hey, we're all the same and do this, but then use this kind of sentencing. So I can't really get into it all, but it has to do with current events, and it was to help kids understand other situations in life, but using another group to go against, and it just wasn't really down the middle.
Was it part of critical race theory, or was it part of
not critical race theory.
politics, conservatives versus liberals?
That either.
Something along. Nothing.
There's another issue that's out there, guys.
Was
Murder
it about,
hornets.
No, when it comes to policing and whether police are good.
Okay.
There you go. That's all I'm going to get into right now.
I understand.
So it's not just public schools, private schools
Why
too.
is this happening? When I was in school,
there's pressure on private schools now too.
of course there is, because guess what? They're little formidable minds,
all
and they
it
want
takes-
their access to them.
But usually, as Tabitha says, the squeaky wheel gets the oil.
Yes.
Usually, in many of the cases, you'll have 1% or 2% of a population of whether it's a small group or a large group saying, well, hey, you need to listen to my ideas. I want this.
I know.
And then the 98% are like, oh my God, we're afraid. Or
Absolutely.
or that one person's like, okay, well, I've always said this. Whoever it is that is trying to destroy America, and there's no doubt, there's stuff trying to destroy America with race, you name it, with whatever
Is it a
takes.
person? What is it?
It's whatever it is, goes after whatever you possibly can and plays upon the emotions, because I've always said this, the average human has a heart, and you go after the emotions of somebody. Well, you want to do the right thing. most people aren't trying to be evil. They want to do the right thing.
Right.
But what is really the right thing? And then you get indoctrinated messages on what you may think or not think is the right thing.
But why are they trying to tell our kids what to think? When I was in school, granted, that was a long time ago.
What do you think?
They never told us what to think, I don't think they ever swayed us towards what we should think. They told us facts about history, and they allowed us to form our own opinions. Because it's the parents' job.
Who do you think?
Well, we need to have exact examples of how they're telling kids what to think.
That's a
'Cause
good
right
point.
now, we need to make sure that we know that that's actually happening.
And we do exactly.
And
How about
those
this?
examples.
How about this? I think this is fair. What if we teach the parents what critical race theory is first? And
Which is what my point has been from the start.
Why don't you do this? We want to congratulate all parents. You get this free 24-day class. You show up or you don't show up. It's up to you. But we're going to tell you everything that we're about to teach your kids, and you're going to sign off on it because you need to know first before we tell your kids, hey, they're white pieces of crap. And it doesn't that suck that you're
but the flip
doesn't
side
that
of that
suck
too.
that you doesn't that suck that you're a 10-year-old and you're white and you are basically you're abusive to these other people over here. Why don't we say that the parents have to sign this piece of paper to let teachers tell them Johnny is a white piece of garbage?
But Eric, think about the flip side. If you are a black child in these classes, you're going to feel
They
like
don't want it
you're
either.
a lesser person.
Yes,
I mean, why
exactly.
would they want to teach kids you're a victim, you're a lesser person, this person is superior to you, and they feel like they're superior to you?
Let's
Can
do
you imagine how that makes
Let's
those
just
kids
role
feel?
play. Let's
it's
role
not
play.
good for
Let's
any
role
kid.
play. Here's Michael. He's an African American. He's 8 years old, has his whole life ahead of him. You are, my friend, you are oppressed. You're a victim. It sucks to be you. It's this kid over here
That's
is
like
victimizing
telling
you.
kids they have obstacles they didn't even know they had.
All of a sudden, I've just put into his mind garbage. It is garbage. Go listen to Morgan Freeman talk about racism. Go listen to him. Don't listen to me. And you're going to look at this little kid who could be anything: a doctor, a lawyer, an astronaut. His whole life is perfect, except now I've just put a negative bean into his head that he has to deal with for the rest of his life. I am oppressed. I'm a victim. I'm nothing. What, are you kidding me?
Exactly, Eric, because that just teaches kids going forward in life that I'm a victim and I'm oppressed. And because of that, I don't have the same options as other people do. When I was in school, of course, in Chicago, schools are extremely diverse. And I can't even imagine any kid, we had so many different kids from different nationalities, anyone feeling like they were a lesser person or anyone feeling like they were a more superior person.
Right.
I couldn't even imagine a classroom divided in that way.
Let me also apologize, because I don't know what this curriculum is, Vic.
Yeah,
Nobody's told me.
No one does.
Nobody's
no
told
one
me. So
does.
if I'm wrong,
I would
I
want to see the
apologize.
curriculum. No one, I've asked several people, I want to see the curriculum. No one has ever sent me the curriculum.
Yes, I would apologize.
It's guarded.
Well, exactly.
It is guarded.
Former UN Ambassador Nikki Haley yesterday slammed CRT, critical race theory, as harmful to young people and a huge hurdle to uniting the country. Quote, critical race theory is going to hold back generations of young people. She put that out on Twitter. Now, she was born in South Carolina, and she said her parents, who immigrated to the U.S. from India, taught her to always focus, quote, focus on what brings us together, not sets us apart.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
America should be united around shared values, not divided by different shades of color.
Absolutely.
Amen, brother.
But proponents of CRT say, well, that's because you just don't want to actually deal with true history.
It's
and
not true
teach what
history.
I'm just saying what the other side says.
And kids
and
should
has
be
said
taught about
on this
history.
show. And what your boy, John Parker, brought up to you and told you, you have to teach what is true. Now, and then I said, okay, you can teach about what happened in Tulsa and the Tulsa race riots.
And they should teach that.
But how are we, there's only so much time to teach history to
True.
kids in a day. How are you going to decide what to get taught and what does not get taught? What are you sacrificing? What are you not? And what is it actually going to do? Because on the outset, it sounds great, but we really don't know what CRT is yet. You can't just pass something and say, yeah, we're going to teach CRT when parents still don't know exactly what it is.
Well, exactly. In the same way, we can't exactly object if we don't understand.
You should be able to look at what the course load is, and then we can solve it. There's a lot of things that are easy. To me, it looks like another one of those issues brought by powers that be or to divide America.
You're exactly right. Could you imagine going into a class. See, here's another thing, like sex ed. I think you should teach sex ed. How does a man, how does a woman procreate? How do they make a kid? That we've taught it. It's not really the school district's place to even do that. But now they bring in all this LGBT. My niece, who is 13 and 12 at the time, had all of her knuckles were red. They were like rainbow. And I go, Ava, why are you doing that? What's that all about? She goes, I'm sticking up for the LGBT community. I go, you're 12. Who the hell is LGBT in your school? It's a fashion thing now in schools. I'm like, why do you teach that garbage? It's not garbage to people who are, I'm not saying anything about LGBT. If you want to be that is fantastic. But these are 12-year-old kids. How is that stuff making it into the school at such a young age? It just feels like our school system is going in this bizarre direction.
Well, it's not just the school system. It can be society as well. I recently told you that somebody I know, somebody close to me, had their 13-year-old daughter with them, and you didn't. She's like, but I need to wear a mask. And her mom told her, no, you don't. She's like, yeah, but if I don't have the mask on, I'm going to be seen as a Trump-loving person.
Wow.
And I can't be seen as that.
It's
Masks
a flag.
should not be used to divide us.
It's
and
a
that's
liberal
exactly
flag.
What's
No, but
happening.
that was coming from a 13, 14-year-old girl. Said, no, but I need to have my mask, even though we don't need them because I don't want to be seen as a Trump lover.
And then you watch the hockey playoffs last night on TV, and there's 20,000 people going nuts. Are they all Trump supporters, or are they just sick of COVID?
Yeah, but that's also in Florida.
Exactly.
That's DeSantis' backyard.
Yeah.
All right, hey,
And that's where everybody visits, Florida.
And speaking of which, when we come back, we'll talk about what Missouri Governor Mike Parson told the federal government and told President Biden when it comes to sending people to your front door, whether you had a vaccine or not.
It's about time somebody has some balls.
Well, there's a lot of people who like to rip Parson, and you'll vote for him, but you just want to take stuff out on him sometimes. Nobody's perfect, but he did come out against the federal government. We'll talk about that, what's actually happening in their state when it comes to the vaccine. You're listening to The Edge with Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell. I'm Vic Faust at Fox 2. Back with more right after this.
The new abnormal.
This place is a nut house.
The Edge Morning Show.
It's like I blinked, and suddenly all my business shifted to e-commerce.
Now, my business hours are whenever my customers need me.
My customers want everything now and faster than ever. It's a whole different world.
Your business is changing. The United States Postal Service is changing with it. We're bringing you fast, reliable shipping nationwide, and we're bringing it right when your customers need it. Let's discover new routes. Visit USPS.com/new routes. The United States Postal Service. Priority, you.
The great Gap sale at Gap Factory and GapFactory.com is here. Styles up to 75% off. Plus, limited time deals including active shorts for the family from $19.99. Shop now through July 10th.
We're planning a trip to Spain later this year.
But our Spanish
It's pretty bad. So we're using Babbel.
Babbel's conversation-based method teaches you real-life words and phrases. And with Babbel's interactive bite-sized lessons, you'll remember what you learned.
There's no easier way to learn another language.
Ahora hablamos español.
He just said, now we speak Spanish.
Babbel, language for life. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to Babbel.com. That's BABBEL.com.
Compass Health Network is offering the COVID-19 vaccine daily at many of our locations. Please visit compasshealthnetwork.org for a location near you or call 844-853-8937 for an appointment.
Start with everyone with a brand new puppy they cannot leave home alone. And there he is now, disemboweling a sofa. Now narrow it to the puppy parents who need to get their prescriptions refilled today. For you, there's Walgreens same-day prescription delivery. Medication sent right to your door from the local Walgreens you already know and trust. So you can spend all day at home teaching your new puppy some manners. Elroy, roll over. Or just sit there and tilt your head. Aw. To join, text JOIN-RX to 21525.
Midnight Auto Supply in St. Peters carries a full line of automotive parts and paints. They're a PPG Platinum distributor of automotive paint and industrial coatings and auto body shop supplies. For over 40 years, your hometown auto parts store is Midnight Auto. Stop in at Midnight Auto Supply in St. Peters, just off Mexico Road, 447-4000, 447-4000, on the web at mid-niteautosupply.com.
to MegaNet. For slow internet, press 1. For indifferent customer service, press 2. For confusing pricing, press 3. For extremely long wait times, stay on the line. You are 87th in line, 85th in line, 87th in line, 85th in line, 85th.
Where there was frustration, now there's satisfaction.
Hello, this is Helen at Gateway Fiber. How may I help you?
Isn't it time you refreshed your internet provider? For more information, visit gatewayfiber.com.
Now, back to the Edge Morning Show.
Best music.
Welcome back to The Edge. We appreciate everybody joining us this morning. We need to get Eric back here on the mic. And for those who don't know, I don't know what's Eric doing? Getting a coffee or something?
He ran away.
Yeah,
anyway,
he's back there crying somewhere.
Yeah, get your nice messages for Eric ready to go. Here we go. No, Eric will be back here in a second. He's getting his
There he
coffee.
is.
Chris Knight, Tabitha Hassell, Vic Faust of Fox 2. If you want to give us a call, you can. As always, we love it. 636-695-2915. Of course, you can always stream us. I had no idea. Chris just told me how many people. By the way, those people who are on Facebook, that's just a small amount.
Correct.
You've got Eric's like, everybody I know listens to us on radio. Then you've got our web stream. And Chris just blew my mind how many people are actually listening to the web stream. That's viperrocks.com. Once again, viperrocks.com. And of course, you got us on Facebook, 100.7 The Viper as well. We love it when you guys get involved. And of course, the comments as well.
And YouTube.
And I almost forgot YouTube again.
And we're on YouTube. People, you got to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We have a goal. We're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. We've only had the YouTube channel for a couple weeks, maybe a month. And if you want to find us on there, go ahead and search for The Edge Morning Show and subscribe to our channel.
Before we get into Governor Parson and how he's going back at the government and what Fauci's saying right now, attacking you if you don't have a vaccine, I had no idea, Eric, that Wentzville, Missouri has arguably the most incredible house in the state of Missouri. Are you guys familiar with this?
It's my house.
Yeah, I'm not surprised.
No, I'm just kidding.
I don't know which one it would be.
That's okay. It's right, and you got to check this out. It's on fox2now.com as well, but it's a resort-like estate. It's selling in Wentzville. This isn't Ladue.
Right.
Or Frontenac. Right. This is Wentzville, which is a beautiful place, and there's a lot of great houses there, including yours, with a nice pool. And by the way, I love your backyard.
I'm looking for a new house.
You don't cut your own grass, right, Eric?
No.
Okay, I didn't think so, because that yard's too big.
It would look horrible.
But in Wentzville, they're selling this 20,000 square foot property in Flint Hill. I don't even know where Flint Hill is.
Does it have a pool?
For $20 million.
That's really close to Eric's house.
Oh, my God.
I had no idea.
In Wentzville?
$20 million.
What do you mean in Wentzville?
Let me say, here, when I first moved to Wentzville, it said home.
Oh, there's more. This is amazing.
Oh,
You gotta
keep
check out-
going.
Okay. It's 40, it's 20,000 square foot home.
That's it?
It has stables,
Okay.
a private chapel, a sports field.
Where's this at?
Wherever Flint Hill is.
I'm going to go
in
find it today.
Wentzville.
I'm going to go find it.
Yeah, I knew you were going to say something of that nature. Although there have been a couple of recent sales in and around the St. Louis area in the $10 million range,
Yeah.
that's been the most any of these
Yeah.
places. This one could actually bring in $20 million.
That's a little out of my price range.
That's LA money, man. That's crazy. But
the-
Wentzville is up and coming, Vic.
The average, you know what the median price for a new home is in Wentzville? Or what? Not just a new home, but
Go ahead.
asking
250.
price?
I'll say 300.
300.
$340.
340. When I first
That's where Wentzville's going. It's on its way up.
and it's just recent because when I first moved there, it said houses from the 200s. Okay, so I'm driving down the road now, and they have literally gone and stapled the new thing. It said houses from the
prices.
300s.
Yes.
So they've gone up 100,000.
They have gone up. I'm looking. I'm actually currently looking for a home.
I know where this house is.
And it's so hard. It's so hard to find anything. I'm trying to find a house with
Well-
a pool and a separate living area. It's impossible to
Well,
find.
we would love a cut if you get this house sold thanks to this radio show, Mr. Matthew Bross, a partner at Cloudscale Capital
And
Partners.
it says resort-like
who is a
estates.
former CTO of Hawaii and British Telecom, and his wife, Janice Bross. They're the sellers of this home.
Let me tell you something.
I wonder if they'll let me live in a wing.
20,000 square. Okay. You better
I
have
had to say that before. I mean, it just blew my mind.
You better have a
that there's this
home.
property in Wentzville.
You better have a home or a family that is at least 20 people deep. And those 20 people have another 20 people per person, friends. Otherwise, it's worthless because think about it. If you just want to go to the living room to watch TV, you have to walk so far just
but the
to
house
do
isn't-
that.
I'm looking at it. The house isn't that big.
He said 20,000 square
20,000
feet.
square-
That's
What-
bigger
what-
than.
What do you think? What?
It's a large house. No
It's
question
not
about
that
it.
big?
But I mean, if you look at it, it's not that big
It's
of a
almost
house.
as big as Chris's house.
But I think you're paying for the land, the property, the acreage,
Correct.
the
That's exactly
and a
stables,
chapel and horses.
the outbuildings, that sort of thing.
20 million
I've seen
gets
much
you
larger houses.
Oh, have you really?
Yes.
Where?
Oh, all over. I mean, there's several
Oh, come on, Tabitha.
larger houses. If you go to Palm Beach, that's
There's
a
not many
that's a
There's
tiny
not
house
a
in
lot of
Palm Beach.
Tabitha.
Look.
She's doing it again. I think she's
Yeah.
just saying
Bill
stuff to...
Gates'
just doing it
house
to
isn't
piss
even
him off.
20,000 square feet. Bill Gates, who lives in Seattle, Washington, on the top of a
No
ridge.
question. Trust me. Like I said, it's a beautiful home. If I had $20 million, I would buy it. I could go fishing right there in that lake and swim in that pool.
You see that pool?
Yes, it's beautiful.
Anyway,
That's a
you
pretty
can-
big damn house.
You
Tab.
can find this online. And that's coming from Chris.
the bigger story
Um,
is Wentzville 20 years ago. That house is $600,000.
No way.
No.
It's a million.
There it
It's
is
a
right
million.
there.
Eric-
No, it's way more than a million. It's got three. It's got one,
The
two,
bigger
three,
story-
4, 5, 6 fireplaces.
The bigger story is that house 20 years ago would never be built. Okay, now that I saw it, it looks like a small Disneyland.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know, man. To me,
The guy that
And if you're
invented
listening
the
on radio,
Furminator-
you can go to our Facebook page. Somebody included a link of the home.
Oh yeah, I see that. Have you guys seen the Furminator
Thank you,
guy's
Cindy.
house? It's bigger than that.
But
I
here's the
wonder
thing.
if the horses come with it.
But all you have to do is look at the property.
Whoa.
And I get it. Because it's not a 20,000 square foot home is freaking insane as it is.
it's stupid.
But when
I
you
think.
look at the home, is there opulence? Absolutely there is. But is it way, 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 way over the top when you think 20 million? No. But you look at all the acreage, the stables, the ball field. It's like, wow.
It's
That-
a complex.
Bingo. It's a complex. You pull into an estate and you're paying for the entire estate, which is, I mean, it's just, of
Are
course,
you getting a
beautiful
commission
shot.
from this?
Not that I know of, but I'll certainly take it.
Yes, me too.
We could go do our show from over there.
But
We'll put you in the horse barn, Tabitha.
I would live in the horse barn. Send me over there.
So what's the bigger story?
So
here?
anyway, there
People
you go.
are
I had
sick
to
of
get-
St.
it's in
Louis.
Wentzville.
They're sick of
$20 million
Ladue.
home in Wentzville.
The only thing that sucks about Wentzville, and let's all be honest about it, is that if you want to go anywhere, you better have 30 to 40
Traffic?
minutes. Yep, traffic and just distance. Just to get to Chesterfield Mall from Wentzville is like 40 minutes, 30 minutes. So that's the one. But are they going to start to build those amenities out here, Vic? Could you start to see Clayton Nest type buildings out here? Galleria malls, maybe. Is that what's coming? Because people,
Nobody
because
goes to malls anymore.
they don't.
No.
You just laughed at me about malls. What else do you do on a Friday or Saturday?
Not go
Not
to the
go to the
mall.
mall.
Really?
Do you?
They don't do malls anymore.
Well,
you know
they do,
what,
the
though?
people who
I
shoot
do
each
see a
other.
lot of cars down at the outlets in the valley on the weekend occasionally.
Yeah, but that's not really a mall.
That's not a mall.
What do you do? What are the
Like
new?
when I was a kid, we went to the mall. That was what
Yes.
we did on the weekends.
Mid Rivers
But
Mall
now you
was
get
amazing.
shot if you go to the mall. So
Yeah.
come on.
Tabitha, stop it.
You do.
Well, she's
No,
not lying.
I'm not lying.
You go to the gallery shop.
You may
go
not
to
get
what?
shot, but who wants to witness
there
a
are
shooting?
some yes, there have been some isolated
And there's a lot of
incidents.
carjackings at the malls. I mean, it's not what it used to be.
I am.
Thanks,
I'm
Metrolink.
flattened. I
Or
thought
you go to the park.
the park.
The park. If you go to the park, you're getting shot.
Some parks.
That
If you drive down the highway, you're getting shot.
That
I mean,
seems to be the
what
latest
what can you do these
latest
days?
hot spot for shootings in parks.
So, Eric, since you have a lot of time and sitting on your couch, go see how close you can get to this property.
I will.
And please report back to us. And
Yeah.
let us
It
know.
looks beautiful.
I will.
Ask if we can have a tour.
It's not that. It's a house.
I could just stay there and no
Chris,
one even would
is,
know
a
I was
house.
there.
Chris, is Rick Pogue looking at this?
What?
The property.
Oh, I don't know. He's the
He
only one.
should. Then he can have a big party and invite us.
Hell, it might be his.
Yeah, no, we already said who the buyers were. Oh, man.
Who were the buyers? I didn't catch that.
I've got to find it again.
No big deal.
I don't know. Some of those houses in Ladue are still fairly impressive to me.
The Ferminator guy's house is beautiful.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not a fan of Ladue. I'm not a fan of
I like
Ladue,
Ladue.
but I'm a fan of the neighboring community next to it, Huntley.
Well, yeah, I mean,
Yeah,
that's
we have
all kind
friends
of the same.
in
Yeah.
Huntley.
It's not kind of the same thing at all.
Huntley, Frontenac.
They're very similar. They're very
No.
similar.
It is.
Huntley is Huntley.
Well, it's small and the houses
Let's
are
go
big,
on
but
a
there's big
drive
houses in
around
Ladue,
Ladue, Chris, and I'll show you some
Okay.
incredible
Yes,
things.
All right.
absolutely.
And there are still homes
And we'll
being
jump in my
built.
helicopter and I'll show you some incredible
I
things
know.
in Huntley.
I know. There are.
Vic and I
some-
have a good friend that lives in Huntley who has a complex of his own.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. Maybe I just have never taken the time to drive around from
If you were in a
town
situation,
and country.
Oh, yeah, there's some
Ladue,
very
it's-
large, beautiful homes.
people
in
have to make
Ladue.
a decision right now because is the housing market going to stay here? So if your house, if you're appreciated $100,000 in Wentzville, do you sell right now? Saying I gotta sell this thing, right? Because it can't sustain that kind of growth forever. That's one thing you got to think about. Let's say you have your mortgage is kind of paid off. Do you sell and go get something else? I mean, it's like playing the stock market a bit. I've never seen housing go up that fast as it has in the last 6 months.
Damn,
It's pretty
John.
crazy.
John, Facebook listener, watcher. He says his neighbor has a 20,000 square foot house in Defiance,
There are some beautiful houses in Defiance.
including a 10,000 square foot party barn. Vic, why don't you go buy one?
Let me take care of my engine first in my car.
See, the thing
that's a $14,000 expense if not covered by warranty. Then we'll talk.
Most of the new wealth in Wentzville, it seems like, is construction dudes. It's these guys that have F1.
Developers?
Yeah, they have F-150s. They're always dirty, and they have multi-millions of dollars because they're developing Troy, Wentzville, Chesterfield. And the money used to be lawyers, doctors. Now it's
Right.
the construction
Well,
guys
that's
that
what's
are
so
making
great
a
about
fortune.
Wentzville is there's so you can build new homes, and that's the issue with Ladue. I mean, I went to high school there, and most of my friends, a lot of them lived in older homes because the houses there are older. But what they're doing now is they're buying these really nice homes, tearing them down,
Yeah.
and rebuilding much
and
larger homes.
and the property is what's important. I'm
Yes.
watching it happen over and over again
Yeah.
for the old homes in Ladue.
Absolutely.
I wonder when they're
so.
going to start tearing the
Because
homes
it's about
down.
the location.
Everything looks different.
And also, if you're going to send your kids to a public school, Ladue has been great because they pass all of the bonds.
Right.
Yes.
That come up. Plus, if
What
you're
a
going to send your
great
kid,
point.
if you're going to send your kid to a private school, there's like 4 or 5 of them really close
Very
by.
There was a subdivision and see how many people on Facebook remember this in St. Peter's called Park Charles. Do you guys remember Park
No.
Charles?
Of course.
It was
I don't.
it had a lake in the middle
Where
of
was
it.
this?
It was right in the middle of St. Charles County, right over by 94.
It was off Willott Road.
Right off Willett Road, right.
And like St. Peter's Hollow
Correct.
Road.
Yes.
It's a big subdivision.
And when I was a kid, that was the Ladue of St. Charles. These houses were, I was like, damn, look at all these great houses. Now they're becoming a little dilapidated. They're like, they're not, you don't need to tear them down yet. But at a certain point, these houses are going to have to be
Well, it's
either
not even about being
rebuilt.
dilapidated. The houses where I used to live, I lived very near Price and Clayton Road, and those homes over there, a lot of them are beautiful. And what's happening though, people are buying perfectly good houses.
Do you do that in a
houses that I would
subdivision?
love to live in right
Do you do
now,
that in a
And
subdivision?
they're tearing them down.
Can you do that in a subdivision?
Of course you can.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't
If
know
you
that.
drive up and down Lay Road from when I lived in Ladue, and you look at it today, it looks like a completely
Have you
different
ever
street.
seen a house being ripped apart in a subdivision just to be rebuilt?
Yeah.
Yes.
I have never
Happens
seen
all
that.
the
I've
time.
never
It
seen that.
happens all the time. Like Chris
That's
said.
because you live in a newer area.
Yeah, because you.
I've
still live
lived
in
in
an
all
area-
kinds of areas.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah.
But where
I
you
get-
live right now, specifically in Wentzville, they are building up so much.
I
There's
know.
still so many lots people can buy and build new.
From the Facebook line, teardowns are at an all-time high, but no one wants the big Mac Daddy and live next to the Pucky Huddle.
I think I understand what they're saying. I've never heard that word, but that's true because if you go down a couple of these roads in Ladue, you can see where they tore down a perfectly wonderful house, built this huge house, and of course the older house is still sitting next to it, And then that looks tiny in comparison when it's actually a large house.
I was just talking online with Kathy Helbig, who we've had on talking real estate. She said she'll be very, very surprised if it's sold for 20, since 10 million is the most any house is sold for.
That's $1,000 a square foot. That's overpriced.
But wait a minute, we're in a different. Tell her that we're in a different time period now.
Yeah, but
that
maybe,
these houses are going fast.
It's the whole,
maybe they don't want to sell it. Maybe they're just saying, "Hey, if somebody gives us $20 million, we'll take it."
Okay, that's a good
point.
point.
You know what I mean?
That's a good point.
That's right.
I mean,
there's not a lot of inventory out there.
Right.
I think we need to sell it to Ron. We'll get Ron K on the line.
No, but there's some people who've invested a lot of money in Lake St. Louis as well. It doesn't.
That's another one. Those houses are not going to live forever over there, man.
Correct.
When do they start ripping them down?
I mean, and we're because we're moving over to St. Charles, and if you go like Whitmore, I think it's beautiful. Whitmore Country Club in St. Charles.
Man,
but you know what?
It used to be so nice when I was young.
But now, but if you go into any of those homes, if you try to buy them, it's like you have to redo everything.
Yes.
Redo it or rip it apart?
Well,
just redo it.
You have to
remodel
redo it because things get older.
Right.
Yeah.
Just like
Out
your
of
body,
date.
Eric. Just like it
I'm
starts to
melting
break down.
I'm starting to break down.
You actually are. You're over there standing on a 3-inch foam mat.
I got it.
That I trip
She's
over
not
every
lying.
single day when I
She's
leave.
not lying. And I got tape on my arm to keep my shoulder
Oh
in
my
socket.
gosh.
I'm a piece of garbage. I would rip myself down.
You're kind of see. That's what my point was.
I need to be rebuilt like Lee Majors.
As good as you are, like Whitmore, every now and then you have to do a redo.
That's right. I'm okay with it. You call me old, you're not affecting me one way or another. I'm all right with it.
Well, I'm just a few years younger.
Yeah. Old
So
80s rocker in the house.
I know, it's funny. And, and a lot of times we have things that we plan on showing. Some things just happen organically, and we love it. The whole situation with the housing that's happened. So we'll take a quick break. We'll come back. We'll continue to talk about this. If you have anything else, let us know. Give us a call. If there's any other information you can add to what we've been talking about with this home or the area, 636-695-2915, 636-695-2915. Or let us know on Facebook, 100.7 The Viper, and share the show as well. Back with more Edge right after this.
The Edge Morning Show is coming right back.
Contractors Flooring Supply is your Mohawk Revwood Select dealer. This is water-resistant wood flooring without compromise. In stock with free underlay at just $287 a square foot. Contractors Flooring Supply has solid, rigid core, waterproof plank stock. They carry a huge inventory for the do-it-yourselfer, or Contractors Flooring Supply will do the installation for you. Always free estimates at Contractors Flooring Supply, next to the new Rural King, Warrenton.
Good morning, privates! Good morning, Drill Sergeant! I mean, seriously, what a pleasant morning. The sun is shining and the birds are chirping. You seem to be in a good mood today. Astute observation, Private. Astute.
He's probably happy because he found out Honey Nut Cheerios can help lower cholesterol as part of a heart-healthy diet.
So, in lieu of the obstacle course today, I propose a nice meditative nature walk. Does that sound delightful to everyone?
Yes, Drill Sergeant! Have a change of heart with Honey Nut Cheerios. Learn more about Honey Nut Cheerios by picking up a box at your local store.
Welcome to MegaNet. For slow internet, press 1. For indifferent customer service, press 2. For confusing pricing, press 3. For extremely long wait times, stay on the line. You are 87th in line, 85th in line, 87th in line, 85th in line, 85th in line.
Where there was frustration, now there's satisfaction.
Hello, this is Helen at Gateway Fiber. How may I help you?
Isn't it time you refreshed your internet provider? For more information, visit gatewayfiber.com.
Time for some upgrades? A new deck, a privacy fence, or maybe a whole new look with new siding. But who do you call? What you gonna do? Call Bad Boys Construction LLC. They are locally owned and have over 30 years experience in every kind of fencing, siding, and deck jobs. Free estimates and everything is done right the first time. Bad Boys Construction is veteran owned and gives military discounts. So what you gonna do? Call Bad Boys Construction LLC. Online at badboysconstructionllc.godaddysites.com. On Facebook at Bad Boys Construction LLC.
People's Bank and Trust is helping you get a grip on your finances with our new mobile banking service. You can now manage your accounts, check balances, transfer funds, and pay bills all from the palm of your hand. Visit us online at www.pbtc.net for more information and to start using mobile banking. People's Bank and Trust, hometown banking the way it should be. Follow us on Facebook and Twitter, member FDIC, equal housing lender.
Spectrum Glass is known for their quality work on windshields, but they do so much more. Spectrum Glass also specializes in residential, commercial, and automotive window tinting. Reduce the heat, reduce the fading, and increase your comfort with professional window tinting from Spectrum Glass. Serving St. Charles and surrounding counties since 1995, Spectrum Glass is still your premier company for windshield replacement. And with free mobile service, they come to you. 636-294-1800 on Facebook and SpectrumGlassOnline.com.
Hello, St. Louis and St. Charles County. This is John Londoff Jr. along with my good friend and partner, Jimmy Sappho. Jimmy, folks are wondering how Johnny Londoff Autoplex has become the fastest growing pre-owned dealer in the area so quickly. Are you kidding me?
Sir, for over 80 years, folks have trusted your family to give the best customer service, a great selection, and the lowest prices possible.
And don't forget our free lifetime powertrain warranty on most vehicles on the lot.
Visit us in St. Peters
and at LondoffAuto.com.
Here comes more of the Edge Morning Show.
Hey, welcome back to the show, everybody. You're listening to The Edge. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell on Vic Faust for Fox 2. Rosalind, you're on the phone. What's your quick story? Because we only got a couple minutes and we were talking real estate.
Yeah, in '66, my first job was in Wonderland Mall. I know you probably know where that was at Middle Belt there and Plymouth Road. And back then, the big stores in Detroit were starting to come out into the suburbs, and they were putting up the malls. So my first job was there. And the policeman hung out at the barber shop next to our hair salon. And one day I was talking to them, and they told me, because I was saying, is it safe in the parking lot? Because I was going out there at night sometimes when I got off work. And they said, oh, yeah, but he said during the daytime, he said, is when you got to worry. He said every day, at least one time a day and sometimes more, they were out in the parking lot having to arrest a naked guy running around the parking lot. They said there was all kinds of crazy stuff. And so that was back in '66. So. Wow. Stuff going on in malls is, I guess, nothing really new, but it is getting worse, I think.
All right. Thanks, Rosalind. Have an awesome day. We appreciate it.
All right, you too. Bye-bye.
Let me address Mark real fast. Yes, I did used to live in Park Charles, and if you saw me on the news, which I was on Fox and 4 and 5, actually, that's where my house did get broken into. I come from, yes, thank you. I come from the day, and this is why I'm so passionate about what I talk about. I come from a day when we used to leave the doors open. We would go to school, my mom would go to work, and my dad would go to work. We would leave the doors open, the communities were safe, and I don't think that that's unreasonable to one day try to get back to that. We want to be safe in our communities. I left Park Charles because I personally felt like it wasn't a safe area anymore, and I think that that's what's happening to our society
not just
more.
That. You left Park Charles because you went to a damn mansion.
I didn't go. I went to a house that had a studio in it. I thought that was a wise decision.
Yeah.
Oh, is that where you went? You went from there to here?
Let's put a picture of both up.
No,
and you
stop
tell
it.
me.
Stop
the
it.
house you live in right now is
No,
beautiful. It's
but,
absolutely beautiful.
But it was, it's the kind of thing when you get broken
Who
into.
picked that house, by the way?
If hold on, if someone breaks into your house, Tabitha, which it might have happened to you actually, it creeps you out for the rest of your
my
life.
My house has been broken into, yes, and it does. You know what? It absolutely does. It's
and
terrifying.
I used to live in the house. I used to live in the house where the cheater, the guy that wrote The Cheater, I can't remember his name right now. He was killed in that house.
I remember you talking about that.
Okay, Kathy Helbig
haunted.
got back to me. The highest 4 houses in recent times sold for. Here you go. All in Ladue.
All in Ladue.
$5,300,000.
That's it.
Well, hold on. That's fourth place. $5,350,000. That was for a 9,000 square foot property. Then you had one for $6,150,000. That was a 10,645 square foot house. Then you had a $9,250,000 home sold, square footage 11,000. Then you had a $10 million home sold recently with square footage of 8,240 square feet. But then I guarantee
what kind of land?
But then if you look at the land, I guarantee.
Yeah, it's nothing compared to this.
So you can sell. It's the experience of property estate. So Kathy Helbig, real estate agent, thanks for getting that back to us.
So this could
Realty
be
Partners.
worth 15 to 20, maybe. Who knows? It's a different era. We got
Those are
inflation.
Those are in the
Don't forget about
last 4 years, and those were all in Ladue.
Yeah. I say we go in on it. I got here. Let me see what's in my wallet real fast here.
You two friends.
We could just build our own studio and do the show from our own little Viper Island.
There goes Tabitha on the horse. Catching her catfish in the pond.
I'm staying away from all of that despite her saying that she would sit in the stables with the horses.
Yeah. She did say
With the
that.
doors closed.
That's right.
Well, I would hide out on that $20,000 square foot house. Nobody would even know I was there. As long as I got to use the pool once in a while, I'd be fine.
Guys, we appreciate. Thanks again. We'll come back tomorrow. Eric Johnson, Chris Knight, and Tabitha Hassell. We got to get out of here. Another great show. We appreciate it. Of course, you can share it 100.7 The Viper. Chris, we'll see you tonight for Fox 2 News at 5 and 9. I'll also be doing either the 6 and the 10. That spot's open tonight. We have people on vacation, so Mandy and I got to figure out who's doing the 6 and who's doing the 10.
What?
But I'll be, just to fill in. You fill in for other people.
Why don't you do the 5?
No, I'm doing the 5 and the 9 as I do every day.
Yeah.
Then
Let Mandy do the 6.
No, then it's either the 6 or the 10.
Ooh.
The 6 isn't. Here's the thing. The 6 is an hour-long show by yourself, which is a beast.
Yeah.
But then if you do the 10, you have to stay later.
But that's okay.
Oh, what? That's a pair. That sucks.
I told Mandy I don't care. Whatever you want, just let me know.
Is that what you told her?
Yeah.
Wow.
I'm pretty easy to work with. I think I am.
Get it out of the way. 6 o'clock. Just
right.
Just
be like, Mandy, you stay till 11 o'clock.
We'll see you tonight. We'll be wearing some charcoal gray and pink tonight.
Fantastic. Shani is up next. Have a great day.